Hello students, so today we are going to learn the third part of the chapter 4 molecular base of inheritance. In this particular part we are going to learn the protein synthesis, central dogma, transcription, transcription unit and processing of hnRNA. Okay. Now, as the animation images which I add help you to understand the concept much more clearly, so I have put few animation in this protein synthesis as well, which makes the concept very clear. So if you see here the first half of the animation protein synthesis, here you can see very clearly how the chain is formed with the different amino acids AUG, CUA, CGC, CUA, GGC. So it is followed continuously, which helps in the formation of the chain. Then secondly, if you see here the main process in central dogma, or you can say the protein synthesis, where DNA forms mRNA, mRNA forms the protein or polypeptide chain. So if you see very clearly, the DNA, which is double stranded, present in the nucleus, forms a mRNA. So from the nucleus it transfers into the cytoplasm, which is single stranded mRNA. So you can see very clearly. Then this, in the cytoplasm of the cell, they form the polypeptide chain. So you can see the central dogma, which states the DNA forming the mRNA in the nucleus and mRNA forming the polypeptide chain or the protein in the cytoplasm of the cell. So this animation helps us to provide clear understanding of the concept. Further, now we go into the detailed part of protein synthesis. So first point, proteins are very important biomolecules. They serve as structural components, enzymes and hormones. So proteins has got many different properties. So one of those are forming the structural components, forming enzymes and also hormones. Second, the cell needs to synthesize new protein molecules. The process of protein synthesis includes transcription and translation. So to form new proteins, two important process takes place in the protein synthesis, is transcription and translation. As you saw in the earlier slide, where DNA forming the mRNA in the nucleus and mRNA which gets transferred into the cytoplasm, where it forms the protein synthesis or the polypeptide chain, which is the translation process. So in the central dogma itself, we can see the transcription and translation process from DNA to mRNA to the formation of polypeptide chain, that is the protein synthesis. Okay. Now, the process of copying of genetic material or information from one template, or we can use it a mold, strand of DNA into a single stranded RNA transcript is termed as transcription. So as we saw in this earlier animation slide, the DNA, which is double stranded, forming single stranded RNA in the nucleus, and that also is very important to remember, where the process is taking place in the cell. Okay, and that part is the transcription. During this process, synthesis of complementary strand of RNA takes place. So here the synthesis of RNA takes place, except that adenine base pairs with uracil base instead of thymine. Here it's important to remember the uracil is replaced by thymine. As we know, studied earlier, it is ATGC pattern in case of DNA, but when it comes to RNA, it is AUGC. There is adenine forming with uracil, whereas cytosine with the guanine. So that remains the same, but adenine pairs with thymine instead of uracil in DNA and with uracil in RNA. So here when it forms from DNA to RNA, the RNA has got uracil base instead of thymine. Okay, now you can see here the image which I added again, which again helps to understand. So in this entire part, and you can say in entire chapter, all the videos, you can see many good images and animation slide which helps to make the concept very clear. So here you can see the DNA which is double stranded, and also you can understand the strand by two different colors, coloration purple and green. So you can see two strands which get separated, and the mRNA copying DNA in the nucleus, which takes place in the nucleus, which is the transcription process. Further, this mRNA gets translated into the protein synthesis or polypeptide chain in the cytoplasm. Here we can see the translation process taking place, the ribosomes incorporating amino acid into the growing protein chain. Now this again, coming back to the earlier slide, you saw how the amino acids getting incorporated in the protein chain in the first half of the animation slide. Okay, so now the concept becomes very easier because of more images and animations. Then free amino acids, tRNA bringing amino acids to the ribosomes. Okay, so here in simple words, transcription, translation, then the formation of polypeptide chain from the DNA to the mRNA to polypeptide chain. So the DNA forming the mRNA called the transcription process taking place in the nucleus, whereas the mRNA forming the polypeptide chain or the proteins by process of translation in the cytoplasm of the cell. So you can see the formation of protein or the polypeptide chains. Further, again I added image and the animation part, both is there, so simultaneously you can have the comparison and understand, because once you understand this concept of what is happening, then the understanding, learning terms, everything will become easy for you. Okay, otherwise the concept will be difficult. So here the central dogma, which you already saw in the second slide, animation slide. So first you come to the right side of the image, the second image, where you can say DNA double stranded, the replication which takes place. Now by transcription process, RNA is formed which is single stranded. Okay, and then that is forming DNA to RNA. Now this RNA gets translated to protein. So here RNA forming the protein molecule. So you can see the polypeptide chain being formed. Clear? So this is how the three steps are there, or two stages: transcription, translation. Come back over here, DNA, RNA, protein. DNA, RNA, single strand, formation of protein. So three steps I put in a simple animation, and same thing onto the right side. Okay, now coming to the matter of the central dogma, which we have seen in the images and animation. So a detailed explanation of central dogma. Double-stranded DNA molecule gives rise to mRNA, which acts as a messenger to program the synthesis of polypeptide chain, that is the protein. So as from the earlier 4 slides, what we are learning on, that is the protein being formed from DNA to mRNA to the protein by transcription, translation, which is the central dogma. So this type of unidirectional flow of information from DNA to RNA to proteins is referred as central dogma of molecular biology. Clear? Now it was postulated by F.H.C. Crick in the year 1958. Now again I highlighted the name of the scientist, the year, which helps for the MCQ and the NEET question point of view. Now here the reaction or the chemical equation, we can say, from DNA to mRNA through transcription, from mRNA to polypeptide by translation. So the present concept of central dogma in retrovirus or ribovirus is given by Temin in 1970 and again by Baltimore in 1970. So this central dogma concept was shown in retrovirus. Now again I got a good animation and image in the later part of this video where you can understand what is retrovirus, how it is happening in the retroviruses. Okay, so here DNA again by transcription forming mRNA, by translation forming polypeptide. Also we can see here reverse transcription where again formation of DNA takes place. So accordingly enzyme RNA depends DNA polymerase, that is synthesis DNA from RNA. So DNA is also synthesized from RNA by the enzyme RNA dependent DNA polymerase. That's how the reverse transcription takes place. Now, moving further, now we can come to know about the detailed part of the transcription. So we learn in detail about what transcription happens and what are the parts in transcription. Otherwise, until now it was simple procedure, that is DNA forming mRNA by transcription, mRNA forming polypeptide chain, that is protein, by translation, right? So now we go into the detailed aspect first with the transcription. So in this video we are going to learn in detail about the transcription. So during transcription, information of only one strand of DNA is copied into RNA. Only single strand is copied. This strand of DNA acts as template, means a mold or a, or you can say copy, with which it helps to form a new strand. So enzyme RNA polymerase catalyzes the formation of RNA transcript. DNA is located in the nucleotide of the prokaryotes and nucleus of eukaryotes. Now all of you know prokaryotes has a simple nuclear structure, or the nucleus is called as a nucleoid, whereas in eukaryotes the nucleus is well developed, and the term nucleus is used over there because it has got all the components of the in the nucleus. So DNA transcription takes place in the nucleus in eukaryotes, whereas translation occurs in cytoplasm, as we saw in the earlier slides and images. So DNA transfers information to mRNA, which then moves to ribosomes. So the information is transferred to mRNA first, from the DNA, and from DNA to the ribosomes. Transcription occurs in the nucleus during G1 and G2 phases of the cell cycle. DNA has promoter and termination sites, that is where it begins and where it ends with. So transcription starts at promoter site and stops at terminator site. So what is the transcription beginning at the promoter site and ending at the terminator site? So actually the process of transcription in both prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes involves three stages. Now those three stages are what? The initiation, elongation and termination. So we can see already transcription taking place, DNA to mRNA to protein synthesis. So in transcription itself there are three stages: initiation, elongation and termination. Now before moving the detailed part, here we can see the images which shows what happens in initiation, elongation and termination step by step. So in initiation you can see promoter, how it begins with the RNA polymerase, the sigma factor. Okay, elongation, how the DNA where the mRNA formation takes place. Then termination, how it ends with, so RNA polymerase, the rho factor or RHO. Okay, then here again the same image in continuous sequence, we can say rewinding of DNA over here, which you saw in the second video, where you saw this ring like part is nothing but the topoisomerase, the coding strand, RNA polymerase, RNA DNA hybrid region, the unwinding of DNA, nucleotide being added to the 3' end. So here new sequence is formed. So you can see the RNA. Okay, and here the NTPs. Going into the detailed part, so the transcription unit. Each transcribed segment of DNA is called transcription unit. So what is the transcription unit? The transcribed segment of DNA, the individual one, is the termed as transcription unit. So it consists of promoter, the structural genes and the terminator. So again here three parts are there. So two strands of DNA in the structural gene shows the following Features. The promoter, the first one, is located towards 5' end of the structural gene, that is upstream, as you saw in the image. That's why I always show the image first, so you know what are the parts where it is present, how it begins and ends with. So promoter is present at the 5' end. It is a DNA sequence that provides binding site of enzyme RNA polymerase. So it provides the site to bind. RNA polymerase binds to specific promoter. So it has got a specific one to bind with. In prokaryotes, the enzyme recognizes the promoter by its sigma factor, that is subunit. Second point is structural genes. Two strands of DNA have opposite polarity. DNA dependent RNA polymerase catalyzes polymerization in 5' 3' direction. So the DNA strand having 3' 5' polarity acts as a template strand. So the other strand of DNA having 5' 3' polarity is complementary to template strand. The sequence of bases in this strand is same as in RNA. So the bases or sequence of bases are similar to what is there in the DNA strand. So the information on this strand of DNA is copied onto the mRNA. Now this is called as sense strand. So now you can understand that process from DNA to mRNA formation by transcription. So it starts with the promoter, which is located at the 5' end, and the structural genes, which is again present in the 5' 3' direction. Then lastly here the promoter, from the promoter to a structure to the terminator. So the terminator is the end part, which is located at the 3' end of the coding strand, that is downstream. So you saw promoter present in the 5' end, which is upstream, and here the terminator at the coding strand of the 3' end in the downstream region. It defines the end of the transcription process. So terminator is located at 3' end, which signals the end part of the transcription process, that is completion of the mRNA. Now again you can see few images, right? So which again helps you to understand the further part. So you can see here 3' end, 5' end, so 5' end to 3' end direction, and at the same time you can see the template strand, the structural gene which you just were reading about, the promoter, then the terminator. So promoter over here, the structural gene towards the central, and the terminator. Now this three part forms the transcription unit. Little more in detail, in the second image, again you can see DNA 5' 3' end where the promoter is present. Then further you can see transcription initiation site, that is the beginning part, the upstream of the gene. So just now again we read upstream and downstream, so the promoter part in the upstream region. Okay, then the middle part, RNA coding sequence, where which is continuation from the promoter and then it leads to the terminator. Terminator again transcription termination site is present, there is end site, which is the downstream of the gene. Again you got the 3' 5' and 3' being the non-template strand and 5' being the template strand. Also the promoter, RNA coding sequence, terminator, all three are present in the region of the gene itself. Now, coming to the formation of template and coding strand of DNA, how this formation takes place, how coding takes place. So again, first you observe the image which is given in the text, figure 4.11, formation of template and coding strand of DNA. So here you can see mRNA, the template strand of DNA, the coding strand of DNA, which is the sense strand. The template strand is what? Antisense, and then the mRNA. So you can see the 5' 3' direction starting with AGTC, AGTC, AC, ATG, the sequences of the nitrogenous bases, and here you can see the complementary base pairs for A, AT, GC, and so on in the template strand. Then the mRNA, which is formed again in the 5' 3' direction. So if you see here AUG, which usually codes for the methionine, right? Now coming to the points, after binding to promoter, RNA polymerase moves along the DNA and causes local unwinding of DNA duplex into two chains in the region of gene. So what is happening here? After binding to the promoter, RNA polymerase is moving along the DNA and causes local unwinding, that is the DNA structure unwounds of DNA duplex in two chains in the region of gene. Second, expose. So when the gene is unwound, what we can see is the ATGC pattern or bases, right? Project into nucleoplasm. Only one strand functions as template, that is the antisense, and the other strand is complementary, which is actually a coding region or coding strand, which is the sense strand. So as you learned in the previous slide as well as here, the image which helps to understand better about the coding strand, that is the sense, template strand, the antisense strand, right? Then the ribonucleoside triphosphates join to bases of DNA template chain. As transcription proceeds, the hybrid DNA RNA molecule dissociates and makes mRNA molecule free. So here what is happening? The ribonucleoside triphosphate which join to the basis of the DNA template chain, which is the coding that is the strand or antisense strand, right? In the template, whereas sense strand in the coding strand. So here the sense strand, the coding strand, which is actually a as we learned, the coding strand, the sense strand, and the ribonucleoside triphosphate joins to the basis of the DNA template. Further, as transcription proceeds, the hybrid DNA RNA molecule dissociates and makes mRNA molecule free. So as we saw in the earlier image, okay. That is why, as I mentioned, if you observe the image carefully, learn the points over there, parts over there, the points becomes easier. So when RNA polymerase reaches the terminator signal on DNA, it leaves the DNA and fully formed mRNA is released. As this process, as you know, it takes place in the nucleus. So the mRNA is released, which then gets transferred to the cytoplasm of the cell. Now, the further point, as the mRNA grows, the transcribed region of the DNA molecule becomes spirally coiled and attains double helical form. So the mRNA which grows, and then as it moves back, the DNA molecule again becomes coiled, which was unwound. Now again it starts to wound up. In bacteria, mRNA does not require any processing because it has no introns. Now we come across few more terms over here. There's exons and introns. Okay, so here the bacteria does not have any introns as such. The prokaryote processes only one type of RNA polymerase. In eukaryotes, there are three types of RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase 2 transcribes mRNA, that is primary transcript, and heterogeneous nuclear RNA or hnRNA. As we learned in the beginning part, one of the content which you are learning is hnRNA. So what is the hnRNA? Heterogeneous nuclear RNA. So later part we learn detail of it. What is this hnRNA actually as such? Okay. Now RNA polymerase 3 is responsible for the transcription of tRNA and smaller nuclear RNA, snRNA. So here the enzyme RNA polymerase 3 is the factor responsible for the transcription of tRNA and the snRNA. Clear? Now coming to the image part. Again you see the DNA with the 5' 3' impairment, the coding strand, the DNA coding strand is identical to the mRNA except what? T for U, which we learned again. Why T for U? T, which is there in DNA, thymine, which is replaced by uracil U in the RNA. Clear? Now, so DNA forming by transcription. So here you can see 3', 5', and that is the template strand. So DNA template strand is complementary and anti-parallel to the mRNA. Further, mRNA, which is formed here 5', 3', and so you can see here the formation of U instead of T. That's why it is highlighted. So that's why this image helps you to understand where the changes are taking place, how it is taking place, etc. Here, direction of transcription. So here translation which occurs from mRNA to form the protein. So as we saw the central dogma, DNA to mRNA by transcription, mRNA to protein by translation. So here you can see AUG, the starting codon, which is MET or methionine, followed by glycine, leucine, serine, aspirin, direction of translation, and further all other amino acids are formed. Now, I added few more points. Now these are additional things to add which might be required for the MCQ point of view, need point of view for your better understanding. Okay, so here that's why I mentioned note. Which is not given in the text as such. So the synthesized RNA will have the sequence of sense strand except for U instead of T, which you already learned now. So 5 prime, 3 prime, 3 prime, 5 prime, the 5 prime to 3 prime is the sense strand, 3 prime to 5 prime is the antisense strand, right? Then transcription of antisense strand, that is mRNA formation. Then by translation of mRNA you get peptide, which you again saw in the previous image. There is again methionine, alanine, tryptophan, tyrosine, serine, forming the peptide or the polypeptide or the protein. In prokaryote, that is bacteria, all types of RNA are synthesized by only one species of RNA polymerase. So when you talk about bacteria or prokaryote, all types of RNA are synthesized but by only one species. Then in eukaryote, that is mammalians or the mammals, there are three classes of RNA polymerase as we read. So here the three classes is mentioned for your understanding: RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, RNA polymerase 3. Otherwise we directly jump into the RNA polymerase 3. So here we got all the three. And what are these functions of individual? RNA polymerase 1 synthesize the precursor of RNA named pre-RNA. RNA polymerase 2 synthesizes pre-mRNA, whereas polymerase 3 synthesizes pre-tRNA. There is a transfer RNA. So all these enzymes synthesize what is called as primary transcript or immature RNAs preform, which by some modification occur after transcription will give the mature RNA or RNA, mRNA and tRNA. That is all the three types of RNA being formed or your maturation taking place. Now here, as I mentioned in the beginning, some more additional information, additional image for your understanding. So here, as you always have in the text, do you know? And I always add this do you know. Why? Because this helps us to give more understanding into the concept and some additional information as well. So many viruses contain RNA as genetic material, right, and replicate by synthesizing first the DNA, then the form RNA, as we saw in the present case of central dogma, DNA forming mRNA. Then this process is called reverse transcription. Such viruses called as retrovirus. So here we saw how the reverse transcript takes place in case of retrovirus. So that is why I put the image of the retrovirus, how it is taking place. Okay. Further, second point here, human immunodeficiency virus, as you know, HIV, which causes AIDS. In some cases like E. coli and a chain terminating protein, the Rho factor, which is also included here, stops the synthesis of mRNA. The process of transcription as well as translation involves three stages. So both transcription translation got three parts: initiation, elongation and termination. Okay, now come to the image part where we can see the retrovirus. So the retrovirus infection and the reverse transcription. So here you can see the retrovirus, okay, which enters into the cell. Okay, now you can see the step-by-step process. It's not an animation, it's an image. So you can see the step process. Then by endocytosis. Now this term is endo means inside. So the retrovirus getting or entering inside the cell. That's by the process endocytosis. Once it enters, it starts to uncoating. What is uncoating? The outer covering is denatured. Then you can see the inert viral RNA getting released from the retrovirus. So you can see the RNA strand. Now this by reverse transcriptase it gets integrated with the DNA formed by the reverse transcription process and then enters into the nucleus. In the nucleus, it gets integrated with our DNA. Then by transcription, mRNA forming viral RNA, then again it assembles the outer coat which is shed during its entry. Then again the assembly takes place as uncoating, here it is recoating we can say, and then by exocytosis it exits from our cell, and by budding more number of cells are formed and new virion is formed. That's how it multiplies in the body. That's why in the present pandemic, how the new viruses are formed, the new mutation takes place inside the human body. That's why more the cell, more invasion into human bodies, it starts to multiply more, or more number of mutations occur. That's why we can see many more mutations of the virus seen presently around us, and the new viruses formation every now and then, and also more lethal virus, right? So this is how that takes place. You can see the present coronavirus, how it keeps on mutating, right? Okay, now here I put the HIV virus which we just read in the do you know part, to just for your information, immunodeficiency virus HIV. So you can see the various parts first, right? Starting from the nucleocapsid protein, which is innermost part, then capsid protein slightly outside, which encloses we can say the nucleocapsid protein, then the phospholipid envelope which again protects, then the viral DNA which is inside a viral RNA genome, that is docking glycoprotein, which you can say is the main content along with the phospholipid envelope, which helps in protecting the virus against various antibodies or antibiotics. Then transmembrane glycoprotein, matrix protein. So you can see here, other than glycoprotein, phospholipid envelope, here it has got a matrix protein also. Then integrase, reverse transcription, protease. So you can see these many outer layer and components which actually protects them from any antibiotic or antiviral component which does not affect them, right? Okay, now see the second, the animation image. Now this is the outer cell wall. Okay, so here you can see what we saw in the earlier image, retrovirus. So this is again retrovirus. See how the virus entering by exocytosis endocytosis into the cell. We can see the RNA which is present, which is released, that is by uncoating. Then it forms the double stranded DNA in the nucleus part. Further DNA is formed from the RNA. So see how the change is taking place, right? And then what happens further, this forms a circular DNA, the DNA which is formed from the RNA. Further what happens, this DNA, circular DNA, enters into the nucleus. In the nucleus it joins with our system, the nucleus, or the we can say it takes help of our system, and then it starts to produce a new strand, and then we can see the how the new virion is formed, right? What you saw in the earlier image. Now coming to the transcription unit and the gene, the DNA sequence coding for mRNA, tRNA or rRNA is defined as a gene. So this DNA coding can be defined as a gene. So cistron is a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide. A single structural gene in transcription unit is said to be monocistronic, whereas long segment of DNA having set of various structural genes in one transcription unit is referred as polycistronic. Now we can understand the term by mono and poly. Mono means single unit. Here the polycistronic. So a single structural gene in transcript, the monocistronic, whereas a long segment of DNA with a various set of structural genes which is said as polycistronic. Further, structural genes in eukaryotes have interrupted non-coding sequence. which is called as introns. So just as I told, we come across few more terms, introns and exons. So what is introns? Structural genes in the eukaryotes having interrupted non-coding sequence. Okay, now so what are exons? The coding sequence or express sequence are defined as exons. So just to recap it, non-coding sequence introns, the express sequence or the coding sequence exons. So in simple words to understand, exons are the coding sequence, introns are the non-coding sequence. Clear? Now see this image. Now here you can see the exon 1, you can see the exon 2, both with the blue coloration. Okay, now while explaining I use the colors also here. The reason which helps, if I just mention intron exon over, then it will be very difficult to understand. So you see the coloration. Why? Because later part how the joining takes place or sequence takes place, it will be easier for you. So you can see the intron over here. As we just learned, exons are the coding sequence and the introns the non-coding sequence. So you can see sequences required for intron removal, portion of primary transcript. Now introns are removed. That is why I said see the coloration. So the introns, you can see the light yellow colored, you can see it's removed, and both the blue colored one, exon 1, exon 2, they are joined. So we find only the exon 1 and 2. So portion of mRNA. Okay, that is why this image helps us to understand what is happening actually. So here the last point, only exons appear in the processed mRNA in eukaryotes. Understood now? So in the entire sequence of gene, the exon which is seen in the later part of the formation of mRNA, where introns are removed. Why? The exons are the coding sequence. Now further, processing of hnRNA. Now we come to the hnRNA part as we have learned in the earlier part. So again you come to the figure 4.12, transcription and processing of hnRNA to mRNA in eukaryotes. So you can see the gene, the double stranded DNA, where you can see how the incorporation takes place, which you saw again in the earlier images. Here few more terms which you come across. Now you can see the capping over here, the 5' end, the exon, the intron. Okay, here the introns are removed, so you can see only the exon part. The poly A tail over here, previously polyadenylation taking place. And further you can see only the exons, that is messenger RNA is formed, as you saw in the previous image also. So from the capping further, so you can see three parts actually taking place, capping, splicing and the tailing part. So now when you say splicing, the means what? When you splice or cut, so you can say the cut is made or splicing is taking place or remove, or the part is removed. Then you can say capping part, then you can say tailing part, or you can say the joining part in short. Okay, now coming to the detailed part. So in processing of hnRNA, the eukaryotes forms of RNA transcribed from DNA are called primary transcript. So forms of RNA transcribed from DNA, they are called as primary transcript. Such transcript undergoes process called as processing or maturation before becoming functional. So what happens? First, maturation or processing takes place before it becomes functional. Second point, primary transcript is non-functional and contains both exons and introns. So initially that primary transcript has both, only then the introns are removed, exons are joined, as we saw exon 1 and exon 2. So during the processing only introns are removed by the process called as splicing. Now I think the concept will be easier for you to understand. Splicing, as I mentioned in the image, removal or cutting. So that part is cut and removed, that is introns are separated, we can say. Then exons are joined in a definite sequence by DNA ligase enzyme. So again, as we learned in the semi-conservative method, the joining of the new strand semi-conservative method is by DNA ligase, correct? Ligase acts as the enzyme. So here also the DNA ligase, which acts like a gum, so joining of the exon 1 and exon 2. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA undergoes the process of capping and tailing. So further, this hnRNA, which in short it is written as or learned as, that is heterogeneous nuclear RNA, helps for undergoing the process of capping and tailing. So in capping, methylated gynosin triphosphate is added to 5' end of the hnRNA. So what is the component used? Methylated guanosine triphosphate. And in tailing, polyadenylation or lation takes place at 3' end. So polyadenylation of 3' end, it is fully processed hnRNA, now called mRNA. For translation, mRNA is transported out of the nucleus through the pore. So now, as we know, by transcription, the DNA forms mRNA, that is from double stranded to single stranded in the nucleus. From the nucleus, it is transported to the cytoplasm. So it enters into the cytoplasm through the nuclear pore. Okay. Now, further, always remember types of RNA and process of RNA. Already we have learned earlier about the types of RNA. As you know, there are three types: mRNA, tRNA, rRNA, right? So in bacteria, there are three types of mRNA. Three types of RNA. mRNA provides the encoded messages. tRNA brings specific amino acid to the site of translation. rRNA plays a role of providing binding site. So each has got its own function. I repeat that: mRNA encoded message, tRNA site of translation, rRNA binding site. Okay, so there is a single DNA dependent RNA polymerase that catalyzes transcription of all the three types of RNA in bacteria. So the RNA polymerase binds to promoter and initiates transcription, which we call as initiation. Clear? Now again I put the image of all the three types for your understanding, which all you already know about RNA, the types. So here you can see RNA, adenine, guanine, cytosine, replaced by uracil, that is the thymine. So all the four types, even you can see the chemical structure in that RNA. Three types: one is messenger RNA, which you know it is a linear one. Ribosomal are slightly coiled. Then tRNA, as the image, appears like a T-shaped structure, right? And here you can see this RNA, how it is coiled structure, sugar phosphate bases, and here you can see the chemical structure of the image. Clear? I hope the transcription content is clear to all of you with all the image and animation part. So these are the questions related to the today's part of the video which you are learned, that is about the transcription and the different parts in it. Okay, I hope the concept is clear to all of you. So thank you all of you. The remaining two videos are there where we learn about the translation and the later part.